What's up, everyone? Welcome to Redskins Talk TV. This is your host, Trey. I want to talk about this game. I know it's coming a bit late, so I do apologize. But the game, watched the Redskins against the New England Patriots this past Sunday. I wanted to kind of jump right in and give my take as far as what I observed from the game. Now, from the offensive standpoint, at the quarterback position, Kirk Cousins, I think he did a decent job. For the most part, plays were there because the pass defense for the Patriots, it wasn't spectacular, but the problem for us was the fact that our receivers were dropping so many passes. A total of 7 drop passes in this game. It lets you know that passes were there because Kirk Cousins was getting the ball to the receivers. It's just a matter of them bringing the ball in. So the momentum seemed to go to hell from the first play of our first possession when Kirk Cousins threw to Garcon. It would have been a sure first down at least, but the ball went through Garcon's hands, bounced off his face mask, and Garcon lost track of it in the air. Unfortunately, Ryan Logan, defender for the Patriots, picked the ball off. So that just seemed to put us deeper in the hole, and we weren't able to recover from that. And it just seemed like with the drop by Garcon, everyone that the ball was being thrown to throughout the game, it just seems to follow suit to where they were getting dropsies as well from Jordan Reed. Derek Carrier had one pass that could have been a big gain, about 50 yards, maybe in a touchdown. But it's right in his hands, and he fucking dropped it. I'm not really too big on Derek Carrier because, first and foremost, he's a terrible pass blocker or just a blocker. But at the same time, I've seen him not really play to his potential, if that makes any sense. When he gets the ball in some cases, and he can catch in most cases that I see, but he's not as dynamic as Jordan Reed. He doesn't have that explosiveness. He's a big body, yes, but the fact that he dropped such an easy pass, there's some concerns with that. Jamison Crowder had a drop pass. Garcon had a couple. Deshaun Jackson returned from injury, so it was good to see him on the field. However, he wasn't playing to his full potential, so chances are he's not 100%. There were a couple of instances to where he could have run full speed if he was 100%, and he would have easily beaten the defender, but he only had a couple of passes thrown his way. He only caught 3, but he was also upset. The main thing is, as a leader, Kirk Cousins, when you have this many receivers dropping the balls, when you go to the huddle, Kirk Cousins needs to look at that receiving unit and say, look, guys, are you all right? Are we straight? Because we're here to play some professional football, and you guys need to get your heads out of your asses. There's a lot of times where you can see other quarterbacks, and as much as I hate to mention names like Tom Brady or Tony Romo, when their receivers fuck up, you see them very animated. I'm talking about the quarterbacks. Sometimes you see them berating them on the field. You might see them berating the receivers on the sidelines, but you see the quarterback getting into the face of the receiver saying, look, this is how it's working. The opportunity's there, and we had this chance to convert, and you fucked it up, so you need to get your shit straight. That's what Kirk Cousins needs to do. Not necessarily in that manner, but he needs to take a long stare at the receivers and say, look, are we good? Because I'm coming to you again. I need to trust you. If you can't catch the ball, I'm not going to throw to you. So it's just those kind of things. From a passing standpoint, a lot of our play calling was predictable. The screen pass, I don't know what the fuck Sean McVay is doing, but we can't seem to get anything to materialize with the screenplay. And you see it happening a lot where the Patriots ran it quite a few times to success. But for us, throughout the majority of this season, whenever we try for a screenplay, I don't know if it's something to where we're tipping it off to where they know it's coming, or is this game film study that they know what the play is, because in most cases, our blockers are not sealing the block. Either that or defenders have already been able to shed or haven't even been touched by our blockers, and they're already in a position to where they can make the tackle. That's the problem, and I'm not too keen on the trickery. Smash mouth football is what I like, but I'm a fan, so I have no say-so in the matter. But there's no creativity from Sean McVay and the play-calling unit, so that's something that's really hurting the team. Now, from the ground standpoint, I'm really not sure what's happening, if there's some sort of agenda against Alfred Morris. 4 touches for only 10 yards. They're not giving the ball enough to Alfred Morris, and in honesty, the more he gets the ball, the stronger he gets in the game. At the same time, it does take good blocking from the offensive line to ensure that they can open holes, and they're really not getting much of a push. They haven't been getting much of a push for Matt Jones, even though I think Matt Jones is bigger, stronger, a little bit faster, hits the hole. He's more of a north-south runner. Unfortunately, he has this propensity to want to cut to the outside instead of trusting his blockers and hitting the hole up the middle between the tackles, and that's the big problem. So he's getting tackled for losses. Also, he's got a problem with the dropsies. He lost his third fumble, and that changed momentum. This all happened in the third quarter. When we were getting some momentum, we were actually moving the ball. But I think the biggest problem is the fact that we don't have an established running game. We're very one-dimensional, and our play calling is so predictable. So it's like opposing defenses are reading a Dr. Seuss book and understanding every play that we're going to run and getting it shut down before it even starts. So the running game hasn't gone anywhere, and we're going to continue to be statistically one of the worst teams in the league if we don't make changes to where we can get that ground game running, because we've always been a fairly decent running game. And unfortunately, a lot of us as fans are living off the fact that for the first 2 weeks we're doing well against the run, but here we are going into week 9 or week 10, and right now the running game, we look like shit. Complete and utter bullshit. So the coaching unit has to do more to put our players in a position to win, but also from the offense, we need more discipline, and that's one of those words that I'm going to use quite a bit in a lot of my videos, because we lack discipline. Penalties, we didn't really have too many of the penalties, but just poor execution, that's a lack of discipline. Poor blocking, that's a lack of discipline. And then when you talk about the defense, the run defense, where we came out strong at the beginning of the season, and now we're looking at to be one of the in the bottom 10 for the league. So when you look at how teams start to run up the middle and cut back, we're very susceptible to that. And I remember back in 2000, or when the Ravens were going on their way to their first Super Bowl, there was an interview with Ray Lewis and Michael Boulware. And one of the things that Ray Lewis said that made all the sense, he even said it again a few weeks ago, trying to pep everyone up at halftime for the Ravens. But back when they were going to their first Super Bowl, Ray Lewis said, every man knows his responsibility. If a play's happening 20, 25 yards away, don't put yourself out of position to be in that mix. Stay home where you're supposed to be, just in case something happens. Maybe there's a cutback from the runner. Maybe there's some trickery where there's misdirection. But stay home to your responsibility, because the play might come to you, and that's where you get a chance to be the playmaker. But a lot of our safeties and linebackers, when they see the running back go up the middle, you see everyone get sucked into the middle of all that. We look like Keystone Cops, where we're tripping over each other. So when the running back does cut back, I mean, we're our own obstacle as players. We're running into each other trying to get to the ball carrier. And by the time we do tackle him, one, he's already got a long game. But then it's just a matter of him being in the second level to where it's up to a safety to bring down a 250-pound running back such as LeGarrette Blount, who's not really a tremendous runner, but he looked like he almost had a career day against us. Poor tackling. Because the guys were tired. Not being able to get to Tom Brady, get pressure on any quarterback for the most part. That's the one thing that's hurting our defensive unit. Joe Barry not coming up with any exotic blitzes or different looks to deceive the quarterback, make him change his plays. Those are the kind of things that are hurting us as a unit overall. But the defense, we're not expecting to do much against Tom Brady. However, living here in Texas and seeing how the Dallas Cowboys handled, because they were in Tom Brady's face all day long. Greg Hardy and company, they were bitch slapping Tom Brady quite a bit, and I'm glad that the Cowboys lost. But just seeing how they were able to get pressure to Tom Brady, and it looked like a totally different game where it's a lot closer for the most part. But for us, we didn't make it look like a close game, and this could have been a very competitive game. Plays were there, and we also were able to pick off Tom Brady, which I think the refs gave them a pass, because Tom Brady made the tackle, but he tripped Keenan Robinson. So that's some bullshit, and of course they didn't throw the flag on that. I'm not going to go into the whole cheating with the refs and how much they love the Patriots, even though we all know the league loves the Patriots. That's as far as I go. But from passing standpoint, passing defense, our corners still playing off the line of scrimmage. For those who say that they don't like the dinking and dunking, look at what the Patriots do. A lot of dinking and dunking. And when it helps or when it's there, they go down the field. But they get a lot of yak yardage, and they were doing that against us. Chris Culliver, I wasn't sold when they had the practice videos of him going up against our receivers, and he was talking shit to them because, one, he's a flag generating machine. He will get the pass interference call in most cases because he is always pulling at the jersey before the ball gets to the receiver. But at the same time, he didn't do shit this game. And I don't know if he still wasn't playing healthy, but when you see him covering like Amendola or any of the other receivers, they were getting an inside slant, catching the ball, and Chris Culliver wasn't really making a concerted effort to bring down the ball carrier. And that's one of the problems that I had every time I saw him trailing against the receivers. And then by the time the receiver was getting contacted by a safety or another player, Chris Culliver, he wasn't putting his body in that. So those are some of the problems. Rob Gronkowski, they didn't really go to him much. People trying to say go for the moral victory in the fact that, or they were saying that we held the Patriots to their season lowest. Don't get yourself fooled. As Redskins fans, please, don't get yourself fooled. Don't even start sipping on that Kool-Aid, because the truth of the matter is they took their foot off the gas. This could have been just like the one time that we played them a few years ago when Joe Gibbs was our coach, and they beat us like 52-7. They dogged us. And a lot of people were upset about the onside kick. This is pro football. And my homeboy, Burgundy Fly Guy, said it. This is pro football. You're making millions. And the Patriots, they understand us from the preseason practice squad plays that we were doing. But at the same time, we had to be prepared for that. Unfortunately, Ryan Grant, he whiffed on that. The ball was right there for him, but he didn't fall on it, and the Patriots recovered it. But at the same time, from a scoring standpoint, let's not try to say that we stopped the Patriots, because we didn't do shit. They took their foot off the gas. They could have scored at will. They honestly could have. There were a couple of times where we were able to legitimately stop them, but at any given time, because we had such a difficult time getting off the field at third downs, they could have scored any time they were. They could have marched down the field and scored at will, potentially. This could have been a much worse game. But they were being more conservative. So let's not fool each other into thinking that because they only scored 27 points, it's because of us stopping them. No, we didn't stop shit. Otherwise, we would have had it a more competitive game. So discipline from our linebackers, not Keenan Robinson, but Perry Riley. He's lost his spot because of play, because he also might be nursing injury or coming back from injury. He's not 100%. Will Compton has been in place as an inside linebacker over Perry Riley, but to have Perry Riley in pass coverage, and with that last touchdown, as I said, the Patriots can score at will, and they saw the mismatch where they had Perry Riley covering that running back, and Tom Brady put it up in the air. Perry Riley got beat, and the Patriots scored 6 and then got the PAT afterwards. It's that kind of thing. I don't know why, from a defensive standpoint, we didn't have a safety covering that running back, or at least put Keenan Robinson, because he's a much better pass cover linebacker than Perry Riley. Perry Riley, he's missed a lot of tackles, and with the running game, we were missing a lot of tackles. Our defensive unit was tired because we couldn't get off the field. Broken tackles. It's just a combination of things where Joe Barry wasn't coming up with any exotic blitzes to get pressure on Tom Brady. So we didn't make the type of halftime adjustments, just like most other games, to come out and look like we are a pro football team. I'm still a Redskins fan, don't get me wrong. But looking at how poor we played this past Sunday against a Super Bowl caliber or playoff or even a postseason caliber team, there's no reason why we can't play the same way. And when you look at how the record of the Dallas Cowboys and how they played against the Patriots and how we played, we have a tough road ahead of us. So we've got to get our shit together as a team, and we have to get behind our team as a fan base Stop calling for RG3 to come in the game. I would like for him to be in the game because, again, I'm a huge RG3 fan, but you're not going to put a third stringer in over a second stringer. It's just not going to happen. But I want Kirk Cousins to do well. I hope that he can step in and be more of the leader. But next we have the New Orleans Saints, and it's going to be a tough game. Getting pressure on Drew Brees is going to be difficult. Mark Ingram, I hope that we can shut down a running game. He hasn't been blowing up the scene, but I would hate for him to have a career day on us from a ground standpoint. So it's just a matter of coming in with a solid game plan, getting off the field for our defensive unit, and also just matriculating down the field as an offensive unit. Time of possession, being able to capitalize on turnovers, and making the most of the situation. The Saints defense is not the greatest, and if you see how they played the Titans, and the two defenders botched the attempted interception, and the tight end for the Titans caught the ball and ran for a touchdown. I mean, the defense, Rob Ryan's defense, is not the greatest. So we can take advantage of that. We've got the people, but I think we need to lean more on our running game if we can, and also on Jordan Reed. I think he's going to be more of the game changer than Deshaun Jackson. Each week he is getting healthier. It's going to be difficult to cover him when he's 100% because he's such a fast guy. And if he can get off the line of scrimmage without getting jammed, I think he's going to make all the difference. But until then, we have to be able to exploit the middle with the seam routes by Jordan Reed because he creates as much of a mismatch against linebackers and safeties as any other well-talked-about tight end. But that's pretty much, I know this is a long-winded video. I was hoping it was going to be shorter, but there's just a lot of things to critique with this game. But I will be coming back with my post-game analysis after we play the New Orleans Saints. Anyway, if you like this video, hope that you like, subscribe, and share. And to my Redskins family, hail to the Redskins.